All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. It is Friday, June 9th, 2023. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join me this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. Let's rock and roll. Dow futures down 62 points, NASDAQ up 46. Thank you, Tesla and Netflix. S&P up about 3 at this moment, futures-wise, 1881. On the Russell pulling back, but starting to get a little bit of a bid higher. Crude oil up 0.14%, really flat, 71.36. We know our target is the 200 weekly MA, same as S&P. And now we're in a new bull market. $2.59 for gasoline futures. That's down about 0.5%. 1978 on gold. It did break my 1985 alert, but I did enough futures trading for the week, at least for now. I did NASDAQ futures yesterday, with the team. We made back Wednesday's loss, and we got 60 points on Monday. So green week for futures, at leleast that. Copper futures up about 0.21%, $3.80. Euro dollar, 107.62. That's down. 139.21 for the dollar. Yen up 31 pips. Pound dollar is flat, 125.61. Bitcoin and Ethereum up marginally, 26.780 and 18.60 for Ethereum respectively. 10-year yields are up 3.747%, 103.49 for the dollar index. That's up, and the VIX is up very lightly, 13.66. Here's the question. Let's get to it. Tesla, right? Okay, so Tesla. Let's go to the daily. What happened? Well, I went ahead and posted this on Twitter. If you guys are following us on Twitter, I posted the chart showing this. We were above the 200 moving average. We said this last week, guys. Once we were above that 200 weekly MA, daily MA, we targeted the 220 calls. And we had them, but we took them, we didn't take them. We signaled to take them last week if they wanted to take the gain and at least get a win. Because we only had one winning trade last week. It was so quiet. But we did have a Tesla exposure. And then I sent out a note yesterday on the watch list and charts, including the Twitter, about Tesla and that gap fill. So how high we're going to go? 261.73. I just don't think we're going to get there today, but eventually, yeah, relatively soon, we may get to 261.73. Just that gap fill here on the daily. Again, guys, this is a very clean breakout. You get that wedge breakout. You're above the 200. I mean, what more do you need? Remember, we were trying to short here before. We never filled it, but we were trying to fill short to this gap fill of 146.43. So we know for a fact gaps do not have to fill. But this is what stood out here, 237.11. That was kind of the level that we were waiting for the break. I filled the 250 calls for next week. They are now pretty much in the money. And let me see if I can get the Discord up and I can show you guys. So here's the watch list and charts with Tesla. So we were talking about Boeing. Boeing soared yesterday. I still have those 220 calls. I expect us to break out today. Maybe some patience will pay off. But here's Tesla. I sent this yesterday at 2:20 p.m. 232.71. Had that break of 233.99. That's pretty much in line with this point. I believe this is what? That point is around November of 2022. So again, we got that November 2022 high. We got that breakout, and now you have the gap fill at 261. So I wrote down there, I got my eyes on the 250 calls for next week. 260s may be a little bit too far, hindsight. But next week expiry, since we're beholden to volatility. So our eyes were really focused on Boeing for the most part and our other trades. But I went ahead and sent it out to you guys anyways on Twitter. And I even said there, I like Tesla, but it's just too much risk on the board. We had the other trades, and I don't want massive carryovers for next week. I would feel better if we got BA today. And we got 20% yesterday. I just didn't close. But the info is there for you. Trade at your own discretion. This is yesterday at 3:24 p.m. And here's what happens. We start moving after hours. Netflix was another one that we had on the watch list. Shout out to Nick for putting it on. Above 408, we could play the 420 calls. They were just extremely expensive. That was the problem with Netflix. I think they were like $6. So again, we had the gap fill here at 505. Netflix isn't exactly done yet either. We can trade Netflix for momentum, but let's get above 431.85. I was waiting for the break of 410, but we never got it. So 431.57, let's cancel this alert here. That's the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. So Netflix is not, we didn't miss it in terms of we can always get into it later. So again, there's always another bust, guys. Don't feel too bad. But again, you can see the Fibonacci retracement on Netflix. We're just going to target the 50. We won't get in right away, obviously. We'll see if we get that break first, and then we can target, 505 for next week. But again, we have the Fed. But again, it gives us a little bit of a roadmap. 431.85 needs to be on the watch list. Good morning. Good morning. Did you take the Tesla 260s? No, I took the Tesla 250s for next week. AMD. Let's take a look at it. AMD does have a gap to fill below, so that's some risk there. And I really would want us to get above 130 to go to the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement at 138.53 is the target. So let's place an alert above 130. That will break the recent highs. And the only reason I'm being a little conservative there on daily is because of this gap fill right at this Fibonacci level of 109.51. Unless we get a sword job above 130, more than likely that's probably where we're going to go maybe next week. So if anything, keep an eye on puts for AMD. AMD below 115.81. I know, gasp, how dare you short semiconductors, Carlos? Semiconductors make me rich. Well, we're just trying to trade. We're just trying to make some short-term money. Semiconductors just talked. They're announcing a new chip on Tuesday. Yeah, I got both. I got 130.72 for a breakout. If we do, we'll play that other fib level, which is that other fib level, the 23.6 at 138.53. If we break below 115.81, then I would short to that gap fill to right around 110, around that area, depending on volume. I also wrote about Carvana on the blog. So here it is. We had that gap fill. I even sent it. We broke above it. Now we're above. We're at 25.64. That thing was on fire. It was a total squeeze job on Carvana. I wrote it on the blog here. Let me make sure. Here. There it is, Carvana at 9:53 a.m. Carvana squeezing, talked about it on YouTube. If you guys have been on YouTube, you know we've been talking about Carvana since 13. It's now double. So if you played that, awesome. I don't own shares, but I played the options. Check out the 4-hour would be a breakout if it breaks above 1985 and there's a gap to fill at 24.77, which finally filled. So now let's see what else we got. Do we get another crack at this one? Let's see it. So really their next target is really right around 54 bucks. I know, crazy. But let's see what we get. Let's go to the 4-hour chart to kind of give us a little bit. So you kind of have to go by the daily since it's been absolutely destroyed. So let's see if we can go here. So you're above every major moving average. You're above this gap fill. So really what's your next target? There's no other gaps to fill, really resistance. I would have to say right around here. This is right around 29.65. So let's see if I can zoom in a little bit better here on Carvana. Okay, so we have the August 2022 highs, and then we have the gap fill, that's filled. And we'll play the bottom end of this September low here before it rolled over in October. So we just want to test or target those September lows. That might be enough for a rejection, but if we break above that, guys, 54 is definitely a possibility. It is a short squeeze market. But again, that could all change with the Fed next week if they raise or God knows what they say. So let's not get FOMO. Be careful. Take your time. I did play Carvana yesterday as well, and I caught a bag on it. I closed it way too early. I had the 25 calls as well. So 25 calls for next week, and I closed it for a bag, whatever. Thanks, Carlos, for the daily knowledge. We got Jude, Hala Madrid. That's right. I heard about that. Saturday is the Champions League final. Go Inter. I hate City. Sentiment is very greedy, yes. And there's still a lot of bears, Alonzo. Keep in mind, a lot of people are bearish and they're getting their lunches eaten. So again, it works both ways. Just that you have people that, that cognitive dissonance where, the market's going to tank. And then you have some that, no, the market's going to soar. And that's what makes the market. So while we're here, all of us here together, is we're just trying to profit from these moves. Every day is a new hand of poker, man. And all we want to do is just make the most chips and go home. That's it. I'm not trying to change the world or change the market. I'm just trying to profit it with my guys here on YouTube. So let's see. Think we catch Cat today? I do. I think we catch Cat today. I think we catch Boeing today. I know, weird. Hey, Boeing was dead yesterday. We're going to go over that here in a second. Caterpillar 236.49. That's my level to break out. It's going to get there. Why? There's a gap fill at 240.16. We may just get there today. Who knows? Remember, the VIX has been slammed every single Friday. Really. I got some data to back that up. Here we go. Take a look at this. Thursday and Friday have been extremely strong for stocks in 2023. Thursday, just the date of Thursdays, the annualized return for the S&P is 65.9%, only on Thursday. Best since 79% in 1951. Friday annualized return, better than Thursday's, 105% return. That's only if you traded stocks on Friday. Best since ever. That's the best ever. That's not, there's no other date that's even that high. So Fridays have been the best, Thursdays have been the best, then Mondays, but Tuesdays have been the worst for at least the bulls, Wednesday being a little less that. But Fridays have been strong for the market. So we'll see if we continue. We'll get a couple of gaps to fill. We'll get 2 trades. I can take my Tesla or I'll leave a runner. Or if you guys have Tesla or Carvana, you guys can close up shop and enjoy your money. The only one that's not working right now is Meta. So maybe Meta, does some crazy, some news and we get a short squeeze. Guys, just Wednesday, Boeing was dead and it was at $200.65. Oh God, we're screwed. That's it. And then whoop, all the way to 220, which was our target. We got 20%. Now here's the question. You're probably saying to yourself, Carlos, why would you hold Boeing? Why would we do that? So much risk. And trust me, I know about risk. But you're starting to see 1, 2, got close 3, a quadruple top. That's a lot of energy posted to that one level. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to break. The problem is time. The problem is time. So I filled personal the Boeing 220s for next week, and I'm green on those because I didn't want to just double down on this one. But I still think we're going to break out. We may just run out of time, but I think it breaks out. Where could we go on Boeing today? The expectation, at least for me, is 226, 29 to around 225. We'll get a breakout. We may even get to 230. This is a name that likes to fly, no pun intended. I have calls. Let's see what we get. I put my money where my mouth is. And if I'm wrong, well, it won't be the first time and it probably won't be the last. So we'll take it hour by hour, how the trade goes. That's where we are. Again, I will go over the trades for the week with you guys, as I always do. We'll go over the wins and the losses, what worked, what didn't work, what did we learn, what didn't we learn, and we'll kind of preview the week for next week as well. So I will see you guys then. Have a great rest of your morning and happy trading. Cheers.